I was very much interested in learning digital marketing course for a very long period of time, but I don't get a proper platform. So later from our college, I get to know about XLR and I enrolled in XLR course. It was really good experience. Our course has been taken by Mayur sir, and he was very good teacher. He not only focusing on theory part, he is doing how real digital marketing works, and it was in total very good experience. I get so much of knowledge. Here they're not only focusing on study, they are also conducting different exam to test our knowledge. And as we are giving the exam, so to appreciate our work, they give certificates for the toppers, and along with the certificate they give hampers. Thank you, XLR.
Recently I was searching for digital marketing courses online in Google, and I came across XLR and I attended a digital marketing course which was for 15 days. My mentor Mayur helped me for attending these classes. So he is a very informative and helpful guy. In the course end, there is a exam which I topped, so I came to the XLR office in Bengaluru. This digital marketing course has helped my career and my skills to develop, and the certificate has helped my company to join. Thank you, XLR.
I came to know about this course from my college. Actually, for learning platform, this is very nice, and I learned from here ChatGPT and AI from online. Because he's teaching for me for AI generative and ChatGPT. We are using this technology in more. And after finishing the courses, I came for collecting the certificate. I seen the class.
Hello guys, I'm Vikram Mahajan and I'm studying in Swami Vivekananda Institute of Technology College, and I came across a training program which was mobile app development using Flutter, which was given to us by XLR Solutions. I came across this program through my college faculty, who told us about this program, that it is a very good course and you should enroll in this course. So I enrolled in this course, and initially I felt really good about this course because they started everything from a very basic point of view, that even if someone who doesn't know anything about Flutter or anything about mobile app development can also learn the same way the ones who know about it are learning. So no student was left behind and everyone was given equal attention. All the doubts throughout the course were cleared. And if we had any questions also, we were like, the trainer was also ready to stay for a longer time than it was scheduled, even for the sake of doubts. So that shows how important the students are to them. So it was a really good experience with XLR's program, and by the end of the training program, I was able to develop my own application. And through the development also, there was another point. So our sir taught us about how we can connect our own mobile phone to our laptop and write code in our laptop, and you can see the output in your phone, which is really creative and interesting for me. I felt really good about that. So in the end, I developed my own mobile application. I showed it to my mother, I showed it to my friends. I felt really good about it. So I would really suggest XLR. I would recommend it to all my friends to take courses from here, as they focus on the children, focus on the students, and they focus on what's necessary, that is the students' doubts gets cleared and everything else. So today I came down to the XLR office like to collect my certificate. So I got to know about what other courses XLR is offering. It included data analysis, data analyst, social media marketing, and full stack Java, and many more courses which were interesting, and they gave us an insight of how everything happens, and they take you through the course from the starting of the course to the end, and what next, that is placements as well. How you should be going into the interviews and how you should be approaching to companies, your resume building, and there were so many things which XLR is going to help you in, and they are ready to give you all the knowledge required even if you are a beginner. So I
Good afternoon, everyone. Hope all are doing. So, yeah, we'll start the session. Today, we have our trainer, Prashant Sahu. Yes, sir, you can take up the class.
Hey everyone. Good afternoon. Hope all of you are doing great. Welcome back to our third session. Hope all of you are doing great. So I think we are good to go ahead and get started for today's session. So let me quickly go ahead and share my screen. Give me a minute so that I can share my screen and we all can just revise the topic, whatever we were being able to discuss in the last session. And then accordingly, we'll proceed with the today's topic, which is more towards the prompt engineering. And we'll try to understand what are the different types of prompts which we can be able to utilize it. So give me a minute. Let me share my screen and we all can be able to proceed further. Okay. Let me- I hope my screen is visible to all of you. Okay. So we already were able to go ahead and discuss yesterday some of the very important topics. right? Like we were able to understand what is AI, what is machine learning, and then we understood like what exactly is the deep learning, right? So deep learning is something where we have entered into in depth about understanding how this is going to play an important role. Like then we understand that how the human brains are going to have the neurons present. Okay, how you can be able to like transfer the neuron like structure into a machine and then try to create a neural network, right? So we understood how the neural network plays a very important role inside the deep learning. Okay, so deep learning here will ensure that all your neural network which is present, right? It is a layer like how human brain are having the neurons associated with them. In the same way, you can have layers of neurons present here where it will be interconnected to each other and you can be able to move forward. Right? So more the layers, more will be the accuracy of the output. If there are less layers, you are going to see that the output will not be very much efficient or stronger enough. Okay. So this is one clarity which all of you should actually be aware whenever we talk about the deep learning. Okay, this is something which we discussed yesterday in a very detailed way, but just I'm letting you know a high level overview of how it is going to look like. Okay. And then you see that here, when we talk about the deep learning again, right? It is nothing but it's a subset of your machine learning only. It's not something new. It is a part of your machine learning. And then what you're going to do here is the main part of the deep learning is the neural net. Okay. How it is transferring the like human brain like structure where it has all the neurons associated with it. And using those neurons, you can create a neural network and can be able to move forward. So those are the things which we understood. And then later we got to know that AI is a big ocean. Under that you have your machine learning, and within your machine learning, you have your deep learning, and within your deep learning, you have your generative AI. So generative AI is a subset of your deep learning. Okay, and then the remaining whatever is available like your machine learning, AI, and all of these are actually the like interlinked to each other so that you can be able to read the information and create. So these are all are the things we have to understand. And then, okay, and then later, if you see here, we have the conventional AI system. So conventional AI system means what you are going to do here is you are going to input the data. Okay, you're gonna go ahead, me input the data. The process will start with inputting the data. Okay, and then what is going to happen is like you will be having the AI present here in between. So this AI will process the data, whatever you are providing using the algorithms. It will various algorithms present with it, and then it is going to process whatever the data you have been able to add. And finally, it is going to give you the output in different. You can see the output in different ways being pressed over here. Okay. So right now, if you see in this case, one is the prediction. That means where you can forecast the data, and then classification, where you can classify the data and can be able to add it in the multiple tables. And then you have your clustering, where if you can group similar data, okay, you can be able to group some similar data and can add it together. And then you have your NLP, where you can understand and process the human-like language, which is like a plain English, whatever we are talking about, right? That is your NLP. And finally, your computer vision, where you can analyze and understand different types of images and videos. Okay, that is your computer vision. So these are the different types of outputs which you can be able to get it through your conventional AI system. Okay, that's how you can classify. Okay, so that is how you can classify and can be able to see different types of data with the help of the conventional AI system. Okay. In the same way, this is what I said you, right? Conventional AI, what it is meant for or why it is so special is you will make your machine understand with a lot of data which you have with you. So then your machine will only go and pick or it classify or it is going to see that which one is apple and which one is not. It is only having that capability. It cannot generate or create something new for you. In the conventional AI system, you do not have the capability to generate something new actually. Okay, whatever you are being trained with as a machine, you will only look from your previous data which you are being trained, and then accordingly you will which one is the most suitable or which one is the best one, you can be able to predict and can be able to give the output for the same. That is how the model is basically going to be. Okay. And in the same way, you have the generative AI system in this case. Now, in the generative AI system, what is happening is the difference between conventional and then if you think about the generative AI, right? In this case, what is happening here is you are actually inputting the data. Okay, you are actually here adding the data where you are trying to input it. Now, again, here also there is an AI which is going to process your data with multiple algorithms present inside it. To talk, okay, and then finally, it will be responsible to generate the text, image, audio, video, or the source. But here the capability of the generative AI system, when you compare with the conventional AI here is, generative AI will be able to generate a new content. Either it may be text, image, audio, video, code, whatever it may be, video, but it will generate something new so that you can be able to read it appropriately. That is the clarity we all have to understand when we talk about the generative AI systems. And then if you see here, like again, here also there is a machine. Okay, you can say machine or you can say model, that's up to you. Okay, here what is happening, lots of data is present on the other hand. You have lots of data available on one hand, and then you have the machine model on the other hand. Now, this model is being trained with again lots of data. But generative AI system, what it is going to do here is it will go through whatever data which it has, and it will generate a new image for you. Image it may be, or a text it may be, or audio, video, whatever it may be, but it is going to generate something new. It is not going to say, okay, whatever I have in my data, I have these images, let me pick one and dump it over here. That is not going to happen. Okay, it will understand how Apple looks like, and then it will create a new image, and which it is going to just provide. You will never find those type of things anywhere in the. That is the capability of the generative AI, where it will allow you to make sure that you're always being able to see a new content. Even though it's been trained, but it will always try to ensure that you always get a unique or a new type of a content rather than taking and dumping it away to you. That happens in the conventional AI system. But in the generative AI, you will always be responsible to see something new. So this is the clarity which all of you should be aware of. Okay. And then taking you further over here, the key takeaways which you should all be understanding is, as I said you, right? The machines have to be trained with a large volume of data. That is quite obvious. As I explained to you yesterday, right? As a human being, if you have a diversified experience, if you have a lot of experience with different, then you will have a very good exposure to deal the situation. In the same way for the machine also. If machine is being trained with a lots of data, then it can also give you a better response. Okay, if a machine is trained with a huge amount of data, you will always get a better response because it knows a lot of things. But if your machine is trained with a very less volume of the data, then it will not be able to give you the best or the effective responses for you. Okay, which it may actually lead the difficulties. Okay, and then you need also high computation power. High computation power here is nothing but it's a speed. Okay, high computation power here means is the speed which is what we are talking about. So whatever you're asking, you're able to get the response, right? So you should be able to make sure that the speed is appropriate. So without a proper speed, you cannot be able to move forward. So speed is something which is mandatory here, right? So without having that proper speed, you'll be able to like enjoy the benefits of the generative AI. For an example, I ask my copilot a question, and if it is taking 10 minutes to give me the answer, then that's not going to be fruitful for me. So we definitely need a very good amount of speed so that it can give us the response within a fraction of seconds. And then We are totally moving away from conversational to contextual understanding. So that means our LLMs like Copilot or Chat GPT or anything it may be, okay? So they will understand what we are asking and it will always give us the response accordingly. Okay, so they will always understand the context behind whatever we are asking and accordingly give us the best responses. Okay, that is how it is conversational. Why it is conversational? For an example, if you ask that, okay, let us say yesterday we discussed, right? I would say, please write an essay on Taj Mahal. I'll say. Now you are not happy with it. Then you can say, hey, give me pointers. So what will happen is it will understand, okay, now what you're doing is you're conversating. So you are not saying that again you're writing a new prompt and sending it. You're saying that give me a topic on Taj Mahal, not explain it appropriately. And then what you're saying in the second time is give me the pointers. So you're conversating here. And then you're interacting with your co-pilot and you're proceeding further. That is the benefit of it. Okay, that is actually the benefit of it, where you can be able to move forward and can handle the things appropriately. This is a high level clarity which all of us should be actually able to maintain without any difficulties or concerns, I would say. Okay, so this is what are the three key things which we all actually be aware whenever we talk about the like important things to be considered in the generative AI. And then you remember yesterday we have seen a demo of Microsoft Copilot. Okay, where I have already shown to all of you that how you can go to the copilot.microsoft.com and we have seen some small demo. And today also we will continue with different types of prompts which we will write in the Microsoft Copilot. Today and tomorrow it will be exclusively the prompting techniques, how to write a prompt, what are all the different results you can see. We will be able to have a look into all of that information. Okay, so today and tomorrow it will be exclusively the prompting techniques itself. Okay, so we have seen the demo yesterday itself. Okay, by any chance, if any one of you have missed, you may please go back and have a look into the recorded session of the yesterday's session. So you can all be able to understand that how we were able to go through the demo. And today also, when we will do some hands-on activity or some practical part, again give one round of revision to all of you so that you all can again get started with me. Okay, and then some people have asked me, right? Like, hey, what's the difference between the Chat GPT and then Microsoft Copilot, and then you have Gemini, Claude? See, I will say you one thing, all of them are same actually. They are not different. Okay, at the end of the day, if all of them are same, either you take Chat GPT or a Copilot or a Gemini, these are the different products coming from different organizations. But for you as a user, what you should think about is, where are you getting the best responses? So am I getting best responses in GPT? Am I getting the best responses in Copilot? Or am I getting best responses in Google Gemini? You have to choose the one which is more effective and efficient. But all three of them are meant for the same purpose. So either, let me say, either you take your Chat GPT or either you take your Microsoft Copilot, or otherwise, either if you go ahead and utilize, let me say, your Google Gemini. Okay, you take anything from specifically. Okay, what you have to understand here in this case is you can pick anyone, okay, or you can pick all three, that's your call, but you have to understand these are all your LLMs, the large language models, which uses at the back end generative. So generative AI is a subset of deep learning. So all of them will be having their own neural network AX. You provide an input to them, they'll give you an output. So today, as of now, we are using Microsoft Copilot as part of our FDP. But otherwise, if you want to know ChatGPT and Google Gemini, it also works in the same way like how Copilot works. Now it is your preference. ChatGPT or Copilot or Gemini, that is your call. Okay, same as like you have a Microsoft Edge browser. You have either you Google Chrome browser, you have Mozilla Firefox, you have Safari. Now all of them are meant for what? You ask any question in Chrome or a Firefox, or it may be in Microsoft Edge or in Safari. All of them will serve the same purpose to you, to give you the response for whatever question you are asking. Right? Only thing is, which one is comfortable for you is one you have to that is opt for. Now today we all felt that Copilot is comfortable for us, so we are opting for Microsoft Copilot. But otherwise, all of them are meant for the same purpose. Okay, so one thing is ChatGPT is coming from OpenAI company. Microsoft, the Copilot is a product of Microsoft. It is Gemini product from Google. Like different organizations are supporting their own LLMs. As a user, it is our preference that which one we want to go ahead and utilize it. And Copilot, Microsoft gives us Copilot a lot of free things. I mean, you don't need to pay anything exclusively. So for an example, if you want to generate image, okay, why we have chosen Copilot, you should also be knowing, right? For an example, if I want to generate image, I cannot do that in ChatGPT. Why? Because I need to pay. Definitely ChatGPT will help me to generate images for sure. But for that, it asks you to pay. So definitely you have to pay, and you need to get some like around $22 or $25 they charge per month. And then you will be getting an option to generate images, and you have to go ahead. In the same way, now Google Gemini, even they also charge you for you to go ahead and generate the images, extra quality or a quality images if you want. Yes, that's a good charge. But coming to Microsoft Copilot, it's a free of cost. I'll show you, okay, how to generate image and all. That will be we'll be going through a little bit later. But you have to understand the nuances behind why Copilot, why not any other things. But in the Copilot, you have a lot of free things, and we want that you will be able to leverage a lot of things. Okay, you can do a lot of things practically. Now, here in GPT, there is a limitation to generate images until you pay. In the same way for Google Gemini. Microsoft Copilot, it is free of cost. But first, it will generate you text. See, generating the text is free for all three of them. If you want better quality text, like that means superb text quality of the text without any mistake at all, then yes, you have to go for payment. Or for all three of them, that is the same. You have to pay. But otherwise, if you want at the basic level, yes, it is all three of them will generate the text for you. The extra quality which Copilot is giving is to generate images for free. I mean, you don't need to pay anything. All three of them will generate images. But GPT and Google Gemini, you need to pay. Then only you can generate images. For Copilot, you don't need it. It's free of cost, which we will do again. Practically, we will generate some images using the Microsoft Copilot so that you all can get a better understanding. Okay, so yesterday, like around some 5 to 6 people have asked me, what are the differences? So I just want to give this clarity to all of you so that you should be knowing that what are the 3 different products from generative AI, which is very famous. But now we are not limiting to only these. There are also other LLMs, like you have Anthropic, you have Claude AI. Like this, there are so many LLMs, but you all have to understand it is up to you which one you want to go ahead and use. But at the end, everything serves the same purpose. You give an input, it gives you the output. Now, which one is more comfortable in the output for you? You will pick that tool and you will proceed further. It's as simple as that. You should not have any confusions associated with it. Okay, so that is the overall point which we should be able to consider. Okay, so now, ultimately, if you can observe over here, right, see what we are trying to say here, generative AI application. Okay, so generative AI application, it's nothing but it's a type of an AI where it can be able to help us to create the things like it can help us to create the text, it can help us to create the image, it can help us to create the code. All of these things you can be able to do with the help of the generative AI. Now for this, you need LLMs, large language. If you want to generate text, image, code, audio, all of these things, if you really want to do, right, you need your LLMs. And those LLMs are your ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, Google Gemini, which are very famous. I'm not saying only 3 of them are there. There are so many, but these 3 are very popular. And among them, extremely popular is ChatGPT and Copilot. Okay. And then, as I said, like OpenAI is developed by, OpenAI is an organization which takes care of the ChatGPT. Okay. Now, in the same way, we also have our respective Copilot. Okay. So Copilot, again, a product of Microsoft. But you should understand one thing. Then why I mentioned here OpenAI? The reason is, I'll say you one small thing. Microsoft has also taken the help of OpenAI on. So OpenAI is the founder of ChatGPT, an organization. Even Microsoft also, they doesn't have that expertise. So they took the assistance of OpenAI, and OpenAI only helped them to create the copilot also. Even though the license belonged to Microsoft only. That the license at the end of the day belonged to Microsoft product. But you should all be knowing that OpenAI as an entity or an organization is actually responsible for even creating this copilot. But yes, license belong to Microsoft. So you should have that clarity. So somewhere, if you see ChatGPT works in the same way, because it is the same entity or an organization who is responsible for creating the ChatGPT and Copilot. But ChatGPT belonged to this organization, OpenAI. For Copilot, it helped to create the product appropriately, but the license belongs to Microsoft. So that it's a Microsoft product, we call it as. That is the reason you'll have a very close correlation between Copilot and ChatGPT. Both of them indeed will work in the same pattern only. Okay, so that is the clarity you all have to understand it. And then it is being trained on billions of documents. Obviously, that is, it should be right. Now, for an example, you go to Microsoft, that is Copilot. You go to Microsoft Copilot, you ask a question, and if it is giving a right response, okay, response will be given to you, but it has to be right. If it is giving a right response, you'll be happy with it. It is giving right responses because it is being trained with the billions of documents, which is available over the internet. So you are happy with it. Okay, so you can be able to move it. For an example, let me say for an instance, if it is not been trained with a lot of data, then you asked a question where it has not been trained with Microsoft Copilot. And if it is giving some random answer to you, or you are not happy with the way how answer is provided, then that is going to create a problem to us. And then that is definitely going to create a problem, and ultimately this is going to get stopped. I mean, you will not use it, right? If you're not happy with the response, why would you go ahead and use? Then you will go with some other competitor like GPT or a Google Gemini, you will go ahead. So nobody wants to leave their customers or holders. So they definitely want to make their models being trained with a lot of data so that you don't find any difficulties. That is that's the point you all have to understand here. And then I said you right yesterday, if you remember, all of these LLMs will use what? At the back end, neural network, right? At the back end, it uses something called as the neural network, which we learned in the deep learning. In the deep learning, we got it very clear that we are here using the neural network. So when you are using the neural network, right, that means this neural network at the back end has a lot of hidden layers. Through those hidden layers, that whatever input you are giving, that is getting processed successfully, and finally it is giving us the output. Right? So that name is called as the GPT, Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Okay. So right now here in this case, right? So that is what we call here as the Generative Pre-trained Transformer Architecture. GPT architecture is what we actually call it as. The name of it. See, but if you see at the back end, it's a neural network. Instead of calling it as a neural network, you can call it as the Generative Pre-trained Transformer Architecture. Even this architecture is same for ChatGPT as well as for the Copilot also. Because as I said you, right, OpenAI is responsible for Copilot development. So they are using the same architecture, GPT. Okay, ChatGPT you say, right? GPT full form is Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Now, is it something different? No, it is the same thing. Whatever will be learned yesterday, right? If you see here. Okay, this is the one. Instead of calling it as a neural network, they are calling this as the GPT, which is a Generative Pre-trained Transformer, we call it as. Okay, it's the same thing, just the name is different, but whatever concept we learned, it's the same pattern and the same concept. Nothing changes over here. Okay, so that's the point we are trying to understand over here, which is your Generative Pre-trained Transformer. Another thing is here, web interface for user. What is web interface? Web interface is nothing but but if I show you here, right? This is your web interface. If you observe, this is your web interface. Like this is your UI, your user interface, or you can call it as a web interface, whatever you want to name it as. But this is what is your web interface. Like you have a wonderful UI with you here. Okay, to write a question here, to ask anything Copilot. You have towards the right hand side your chat history, which will be saved here. You can always create a new topic if you are done with your existing topic, right? It's a good UI, okay, where it is being present, and then see here it is asking if you don't know what to ask. It is giving you some examples. Like you can ask about these questions also. Okay, it's a very nice thing. User interface they are creating, giving it to all of us so that we can start utilizing it. But whatever you're doing right now, at the back end, it has a GPT, generative pre-trained transformer architecture, which is nothing but a neural net. Whatever input you're asking, it is processing that information in those hidden and then trying to fetch the output. And that output also will be visible over here as we decided today. Right? We were able to see the input and as well as the output also. Okay, so those are the types of things which you will be able to see it. But if you want to create your own LLM, okay, if you are interested now, you are using Copilot or you are using ChatGPT or you're just using Google Gemini. These are all the existing LLMs which are being present for you. Okay, so now for an example, let me say, if you want to go and pick anyone, you can do that. But if I want to create my own LLM as a developer, then what should I do? So this Copilot says that if you want to utilize it or you want to create your own, then I will give you the API, application programming interface. That means it's a link. So for an example, I will say, yes, okay, XLR LLM, let's say for an example. Now, what is XLR LLM? Now, this is their own LLM, but at the back end, they are using Copilot. Okay, so they will take their API, Copilot API, and they will put it in their system. And then whenever you're asking anything, right, it will go to the Copilot API and will give you the response, but not directly from the Copilot. It will come through XLR LLM. This is another way. I mean, you are creating your own LLM by calling the Copilot at the backend. This facility is also available. Okay, one is directly use these tools and you do it, like what we are doing currently in the session. We are using Microsoft Copilot and then we are looking into it. Yesterday, we have seen the demo in the same way, and we will also proceed by using the Microsoft Copilot. But there is also another way where you can create your own LLM and then you can use the Copilot API. It can be Copilot or ChatGPT or Gemini. All of them give you the API. API is nothing but you will connect to, it's a connection. Now today, you and me, we are connected through an internet. For an example, imagine for a minute internet is stopped. We all will be disconnected. Same thing here also. You are creating your own LLM where you are saying that it is your LLM, but at the back end, you have connected with your Copilot API where that whatever input you are giving, that will go to Copilot and the response will be provided to you. But right now, this will not be visible, Copilot API. It is at the back end. Okay, it is at the back end, only you will be able to see the response answers coming from your system. That is XLR LLM. Okay, so that's how you can also use the API that you can be able to integrate and can be able to move forward. So that is another clarity which you all should actually be able to consider overall. Okay, hope that you're all getting to know. See that these are some very key points which we all should actually be able to consider. Okay, okay, give me 1 minute. Okay, so these are the key points which we all should actually be able to consider overall. Okay, so hope that you all are clear with this. So now let us go ahead. Okay, LLMs, as I said you yesterday, the large language models which we discussed. Okay, these are your LLMs. So whenever you talk about the large language models, it's nothing but your ChatGPT, Copilot, and then Gemini, all of these things. Okay, so like LLMs here are very simply nothing but like how you use your mobile phone, right? So when you use your mobile phone, what it is going to do, it will take one word at a time. For an example, you're typing a text, you'll get a default words coming up, right? You would have observed it. So it will predict the next word. LLM also works in such a way. So for an example, when you provide the input, right, which it will, you will say is mine. then immediately it will give you some predictions. Name, okay, or my place. It will give you some options. That is what it says. It will take one word at a time. It's going to take one word at a time and will try to derive the results. So this is something which you should all be able to consider here. Okay. So as I said you, right, your large language models are basically the most powerful type of the advanced AI. Okay. This is classified here as the advanced artificial intelligence. These are the most important things. Without this, you don't have your generative AI. So LLMs are part of your advanced AI concept. They are very, very powerful and they are designed in such a way for understanding and generating the human-like text. As I said you, right? Are you asking any question in the copilot in the program way? No, right? You're not writing a Python program or a C program or a C++ program. You're not writing anything as such. So what you are trying to do here is you are just ensuring, you are just trying to ensure that you are able to go ahead and writing a very simple plain English and it is giving you the responses. That is the beauty of the large language models. So whenever you talk about LLM, it is all about, it is going ahead, taking the information in the plain English and giving you the response in a way how you can understand as a human being. So no programs you are trying to write. Yeah, at the back end, definitely using a program, the model is created. But for you as an end user, you don't need to write any program to get an input or to get an output. You simply ask a question and it is simply giving you the response based on the question, whatever you are asking. That is how it is so simple and so easier for all of us to follow appropriate. Easy. Okay, so generative AI is responsible for, as you know, text, image, audio, music, video, all of these things we have been discussing, right? So when you talk about LLMs, it's meant for majorly creating the text. When you talk about LLM specialty is to generate the text. Okay, either you take GPT or you take your copilot or you take your Gemini, all of them are LLMs. They are specialized in generating the text. Okay, even though it generates a lot of image, audio, music, video, code and all, but they are specialized in generating the text itself. Then comes the next things which are being present over here. So this is the high level clarity which you all should be able to consider. Okay, so as I said you yesterday, right? If you see here very clearly, you have the training data present. So what you can do is you can take a lot of data. Okay, you can train your machine or a model, whatever you created. Simply, you have lots of data. From where are you getting this data? From internet. It may be from the internet data, or it may be from multiple books you have. You can take all that data, which you can take all of them as your training data, incorporate in machine where it has a neural network. Okay, like this. It will take all your training to access. It will learn on its own. And whenever you are to ask any question, it will give you the relevant going to. Okay, so neural network, which we call the name here as GPT, generative retrained transformer, it is being trained with a lot of data which is being present inside it. So you supplement a lot of training data to your machine. It will process that information. It will learn on its own and it will not give the output. It will learn and it will put it with the machine model only. So whenever you're asking any input or a question, it will take the information, whatever it has been learned, and then it will be giving you the relevant response as an output. That is how the neural network is going to work. You train it, it will process the information, it will put it with itself. Whenever you're asking any respective question, then accordingly it will give you the relevant output, okay, based on whatever you have been able to ask. Okay, so the key points, as you should know, with regards to LLM is been pre-trained. As I said, it's been trained with a large amount of data. And then it has a very massive neural networks, like where it can process all the relevant information and it can be able to move forward. And then you can also do some fine tuning. Fine tuning means, for an example, this will take little further, not right now, but I'm just letting you know. Fine tuning means you can also make your LLM trained only on certain area. Let me say all belong to education department, okay, or education sector. Now, you don't want IT sector, automobile sector, energy sector data. You want only the education sector only, so that your LLM can only give the responses with regards to education department. only, not the other things. You can also fine tune your LLMs. Fine tuning means when you are training your LLM, right, you are going to ensure that your LLM is trained only in certain area, but not in all the directions. So for an example, see, pre-training means you can train with a lot of data. This can be any type of data. It doesn't matter which sector you want it. Then it has a lot of neural networks so that it can process all the information and can be moved forward. Coming to fine tuning, right? Fine tuning is something where you are making it more precise or targeted to a particular sector only, but not everything. For an example, if you want to target only education sector, you can target that. If you go ahead and target some other area or a sector, then it will work accordingly. So fine tuning, you are trying to customize your LLM only for your sector, but not for everything. So that means you will give the training data related to your sector, that is education sector, but not other sectors, so that your LLM will not get deviated. That is another thing which we can be aware of, fine tuning. Okay, so these are all the points which you should be able to consider. And the use case for LLM is you can generate the content as much as you can. You can use the LLM for your chatbots and virtual assistants. Okay, so chatbots and virtual assistants means, like, right, these days, we have small chatbots where it will ask you, what can I be able to help you with? Okay, what are the different things which I can be like helping you out with? So those type of things will come up. For an example, when you want to answer any questions, or if you want to like interact with any of the websites, these chatbots are prepared using the LLM. Language translation. LLM is also meant for translating the language. Okay, like if you ask in any of the things in English, it will convert it into Japanese or Russian or any other thing we will be able to see. And then text summarization. It summarizes the text. You have written a very big text, and if you ask to summarize, right, it will go ahead and summarize and will give you the relevant details rather than going through everything. And then question and answers. Okay, if you go ahead and ask any question, it will give you the relevant response. If you go ahead and ask any question, right, it will give you the response. These are the different areas in which your LLM can work, which is nothing but your copilot. It can generate the content for whatever purpose, it's for marketing or advertisement, for whatever purpose if you want. It can create some chatbots and virtual assistants where it can help all the users who wants to ask any questions. Language translation it can do. It can summarize the text. It can also be able to, it can ask any question and it can also give you the responses. So let's see this practically. Okay, let's go ahead and learn this practically in the form of a demo. But before we go through, I just want to ask you one simple question so that you all can think through for 2 minutes. Okay, so that you have to understand whatever we learned, right? If I give you a case study, whether you can answer it or not. So let me go to the case study and just give you a gist of it. Okay, so let's imagine that there is an e-commerce organization. Okay, imagine there is an e-commerce organization, like you can take, it may be your Amazon or it may be your Flipkart or Myntra, whatever you want to call it as. Okay, now they want to use generative AI. Okay, this e-commerce organization, you can take any organization, they're interested to use the generative AI so that they can expand their business. Okay, they want to go ahead, use generative AI for the e-commerce organization so that it can go ahead business they to multiple levels. Okay, to the multiple levels they can expand it. So how this is going to be possible? What are the different steps we have to do? So can you go ahead and suggest me 3 steps based on whatever you learned? Can you consider me the best 3 steps which this e-commerce organization should do in order to incorporate the generative AI into their organization? So what I'm saying simply is, say me 3 steps or 3 advantages which this e-commerce organization is going to get by using the generative AI. You can put it over the chat. Okay, you can put over in the chat your answers. Think through for 2 minutes. Just think and give the answer. Okay, don't be in a hurry to provide the answer. Think based on whatever we learned with regards to AI, ML, TL, and then generative AI and then LLMs. We have small demo. Whatever we learned till now, think in those lines, and then try to provide the answer. Okay, so you can be think through and can give me so best three advantages which e-commerce organization is going to get by utilizing the generative AI. Okay, please go ahead and then provide the answers over the chat. I'll give you 2 minutes of time for all of you. Provide the three advantages which the e-commerce organization is going to get by using the generative AI. Please go ahead and answer. Quickly, everyone. I'm going to have a look into the chat. Okay, hope you all have gone through it. Okay. Personalized recommendations, easier searching, streamlining the purchase process. Always awesome. Okay, product search to put the post and it. I'm very happy that you all are able to go ahead and correlate and trying to give the answers, which is very nice. Saving the manpower, adding recommendations, attract positive images, better description. Okay, and then improving the standard e-commerce and then sales. Very nice. Okay, all of these are good points, I would say. I'm waiting for the remaining people to also go ahead and try to proceed by providing the responses. Okay, so once you're done with all your responses, then we'll again go through right now with our like demo where we will like run some different types of prompts. And we, okay, where we can be able to run different types of prompts and can understand it. Awesome. I see a lot of people have provided the answers, which is a good job. Okay. Nice. So yeah, then I think it's time for us to go ahead and get started with the demo. And thank you all for participating and then trying to provide an appropriate answer. Okay, which is a good job, I would say. So now let me go ahead and then try to share my screen. So that we can be able to proceed further with the demo. So what we have actually talked about here is, like, as I said you to all of you, this is what we will check right now. Okay. So we'll run some small content to see that whether LLM like copilot, as we are using copilot here. So we will use the copilot and we will see whether we can be able to generate the content or not. The, like, again, chatbots and virtual assistants, language translation, text summarization, question and answers. Okay. We'll see them practically and observe that how we can actually be able to operate it appropriately. Okay, so let me take you to the Copilot, and I would request all the participants who are interested to do hands-on or practically with me also can try it out. Okay, so let's go. So the very first thing which I want to ask here is, let's say if I want to understand something in a very limited words, can it be able to do? Let us say, I will say, what is NLP? NLP means natural language processing, or otherwise, if you want to be very specific, you can say here, okay, what is natural language processing? See, this is what I explained to you today's session. What I said, LLM is always responsible to predict the next word. See, now I said natural language, immediately it is giving me. So it is being trained with such a lot of data that it knows what will be the next word. So that you can always be aware that it can always predict the next word in a better way. That is what I explained in the LLM, right? Where I said you in the mobile phone, when you text something, it will immediately let you know what should be the next. So in the same way here, when I say what is natural language, it is simply saying processing. And if I click on tab, it will take processing. See, that is how it is being trained with a huge amount of data. Okay, so now when I say what is natural language processing and click on submit here, the moment you go ahead and submit, right, see what is going to happen. It's giving the answer, right? It's giving definition, it's applications of the NLP techniques, what are different techniques present here, what are the different challenges present here. It's giving everything to me. But I don't want everything. I'm not interested in all of them. So what can I do in that case? I can say, hey, I will simply say, what is NLP in 10 words? Just say me only in 10 words. So let us say now what it is going to do. Copilot. See, it gave me only in 10 words. If you see here, what you have to understand is the way how you communicate with your LLM, accordingly, it is going to give you the responses. Okay. So however you go ahead and communicate, right? Accordingly, your LLM will be responsible for you to give the responses. When you say what is NLP in 10 words, it will go ahead and will give you the response in such a way that you can be able to read the output appropriately. That is the point we all have to consider. See, previously I said what is NLP in AI. It gave me a lot of bunch of answers here if you see. But I'm not interested in everything. I just want to know a high level overview. So what I said right now is my prompt in this case is what is NLP in 10 words. So it gave me only in 10 words. You can say what is NLP in 2 paragraphs. What is NLP in 3 paragraphs. Accordingly, it will give you the response to all of it. And see here, it is saving my chat. Towards the right hand side, as I mentioned, it will be responsible to save my chat. If you don't want to save it, you can say delete it. Okay. Now, I will say here in this case, okay, please write an essay. Okay, I'll say please write an essay on the national education policy. Okay. I'll say please write an essay on the national education policy. But when I say essay, right, it will write a lot of paragraphs, lot of description. Okay, but let me do one thing. Let me just say, okay, write an essay on the national education policy, like what our LLM Copilot is going to do. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Okay, it started. Because it is being trained. It's been trained with a lot of data. So it is going and giving me the response. Okay. So it's able to go generate the content. Try to do it. Okay, see, now it was able to go ahead and create a very good content by giving all the relevant examples. If you see here, right, what it is trying to do, it first gave me like an essay. Okay, first it gave an abstract, then introduction, then the key features of what is the national education policy, right? And then it is giving me the challenge implementation which are there and conclusion, which is very good. But think I don't have time. I don't have enough time to go through all of these content. I have only just 1 or 2 minutes. I have to quickly go through it. So what I will do in this case is I'll just simply say, okay, please summarize it in 5 sentences. Okay? Please summarize it in 5 sentences. It is going to do. Okay. That's it. See. That is what is summarization. I explained to you, right? Like when I was explaining presentation, you can always create a thing in the summary. Instead of going through all this content, you have a very limited time. So what can you do? You can just say, please summarize. It will go ahead and create a summary for you. You see here, it created a summary saying me that, hey, this NEP 2020, it aims to transform the India's education system by making it more flexible and all. And then here that the target is by 2030, everyone should be integrated to it. And it focuses on improving the teacher training, incorporating technology in education. Okay, so it's just giving the gist or the summary of whatever you have been able to learn, so that you will be able to have a very thorough or the proper understanding. This is what summary. Now you may think, that, okay, is it something like after I get some content, then I will say summarize it and then it will provide me the summary? No. For an example, right now you are faculties. Okay, you have a lot of research topics where you have to go through everything. Right, where you have to go through everything. So what can I do is, instead of going through all the content, it's better I can learn some summary, right? Let's say I'll take some random research paper. Okay, so what can we say is like research. Okay, so research paper on GenAI. Let's see. I'm just picking some random article from the from the internet. Let's just try to take some random article from here. So, okay, this is my document. Let me see if I can download this PDF. If not, it will ask me to sign in and all. Okay. So I don't want, because I don't want to be part of the institution. But let's do one thing. What I'm going to do is, it has some abstract here, right? If you see, it has an abstract. Okay. So, and it also has the paper where I need to reading, but I don't want all of them. So let's say I'll take this abstract. Okay. This is from the paper. Okay. So I'm going to take this abstract. I copied this abstract from here. And let me go to my copilot, which I'm already using. Okay. I'm going to put that entire content here. And then at the end, I'm going to say here, hey, please provide a quick summary about. And I don't want to go through everything. I just say, please provide a quick summary about it. Let's see what it is going to do. Okay, see, it gave me the summary. Okay, so right now, here in this case, right, what you have to understand here is, this is, see, you have a very lengthy article at the top, right? If you see here, this is a very lengthy article. But what I am trying to do here is, I just took everything. I don't have enough time. So I'm just saying that I am just adding some. What happened is, I have asked about national education policy. It gave me a lot of content. I said it to summarize it. Perfect. But let me say, can I bring something from outside world and put it in my copilot and say to summarize it? It is perfectly yes. That is what I did now. I went to the net. I got some abstract. I just kept it here in my copilot. If you observe here, this is my copilot. In my copilot, able to go ahead and put it very clearly here. And then I am saying in this case, please, I was. And then it is able to go ahead and give me the summary. If you see, instead of going through the entire paper, right now, it just gave a very quick summary where I can read it very clearly. Okay, where I can be able to read it in a very clear way. Okay, so this is the point you all have to understand it. You can summarize also in a better way. Okay, my limit is completed. 5 of 5 is exhausted. I'll create a new topic again. When it says the limit is exhausted, you can again go to the new topic. Okay, now there is another option here. See, if you see in this case, right, there is also another option, add an image. Now upload from this device. Let's see if we can do anything. What I will do here is I will go in this case and I'm gonna check if anything is needed here. Okay, this is like custom files. I'll say all the files. Okay, and I'm gonna pick some content which can be helpful for us. Okay, let's say I'm gonna pick something like not this, but okay, I'm gonna say I want to take my profile. Okay, and I'm gonna say open here. So now let's see what it is going to do, whether it can pick it up or not. Okay, so as it says very clearly, to upload from this device. If you are using a paid version, then definitely it can do. But let me say I don't take any sensitive information. Talking to AI, prompt engineering for project management. Okay, let's say we'll try to take this. Okay, so there is one image. Image got uploaded, and you can upload an image, and you can say, please summarize about. Okay, you can add an image and say, please summarize about it and submit it. Okay, this is one of my certification. About I added it, and I'm saying that to please summarize about it. Let's see what it is going to do. It's saying me, right? It says that, hey, I analyzed it. So congratulations on completing your course. I got to know that this is from the certificate from the PMI. Okay, you got it for like prompt engineering for project managers, like on so and so date. Okay, this covers essential skills of communication and all of them. And then you want to proceed further, it is asking me. So if you see here, what are you trying to do in this scenario here is you can also add an image and you can also be able to ask what is present inside it. Sometimes let me say you are teaching and some flowcharts are very difficult. And you want to understand it simply. To Copilot, okay? Image, whatever you have it in your system, add that image and say to Copilot, please explain. Okay, please explain it so that it will go ahead and explain to you in a better way. There may be some scenarios, right, where we may not know certain concept or we may not know about some flowcharts or some topic. You can bring that, add it to your Copilot and you can ask, please summarize it or please explain it. It will go ahead and will give you an explanation so that you all can understand it in a much better way. So those are the points which we all should be able to understand it appropriately. Okay, so that's the point which we all should be aware whenever we refer to it. Okay, so these are the important points which you all should be aware, like in terms of the summarization. So this is right. We can always create a summary and can be able to move forward. Summary. Okay, that's one option. Now what next? So we understood is summary. Another one is if you want it in 10 words or 20 words or in 5 sentences, you can also be able to do that. Okay. Now, what I can do is, let me say, I will go ahead and explain to you the sentiment. Okay. So let's go to Amazon. Okay, let's go to the Amazon or maybe like some site, like I'll say Amazon iPhone 15. Okay. Let's just, you'll understand what I'm trying to do here. Okay. I'm not purchasing a mobile for sure, but just I'm going to say you that how it looks like. Okay, let's go to this. Okay, there's a product available in Amazon. Let's scroll it down and see the reviews. Okay, what reviews are being provided. So, okay, this is all about the product. I don't want it. Okay, let me go ahead. Let's do one thing in this case. So here there is somebody who has written about pros and cons and all of those things. Industry memos are not that much we need. One, I'm just looking for some negative reviews. Okay. Most recent heating issues, somebody said, let's say, see, positive, negative, it is able to classify using generative AI. I want to show you that. Okay, let's do one thing. Let's take this. Okay, I'm going to take this into consideration and let's try to go to our copilot and say, see, this is the comment. And then I will say here in this case, detect the sentiment. Okay, and detect the sentiment and of the user. Okay, detect the sentiment of the user who has actually given the review. Let's see what it's going to detect, the copilot. See, it says, hey, the sentiment of the review which is being provided right is actually negative. The user is expressing dissatisfaction with the battery life. That means it's able to detect it. That means what is happening today, the e-commerce sites are actually using the generative AI at the back end to understand which one is a positive review, which one is a negative review. So that it will accumulate the data and give it to you so that you can understand whether your product is performing well or it is not performing well. For an example, there are 1,000 people who give review, right, for the sessions. Now, if we sit and see all 1,000 reviews, right, going to take a lot of time. So generative AI at the back end will detect the sentiment overall, whether the product is creating positive reviews or whether the product is creating much negative reviews. GenAI can go ahead and detect it. And that is what you have seen here, like where it talks about, okay, when I was clicking on positive and negative, right? See, 7 positive who said about heating issue and 28 negative. That means this product is having a heating issue because majority are talking about. So you can leverage generative AI at the back end and you can see. Now at the same time, see there are some 3 stars. Let us go to those 3 stars and see whether if anybody has written out. Okay, so let's say, as always, Apple products are overpriced. Let's see what Copilot is going to detect the sentiment of this. Okay, so let's say same thing. And now I'm going to say detect again the, okay, so here please go ahead, detect the sentiment of the user. Okay, let us see what this is going to do. See, again, the sentiment of your statement is negative because you're expressing the dissatisfaction pricing of the Apple products, indicating that you have find them to be overpriced. It's just not saying you it is negative, it is positive. No, it is giving you the reason also that why am I calling this as a negative or why am I calling this as a positive, so that you can have a better clarity with regards to it. Okay, so this is something you have to understand it. So your GenAI can also be responsible for you to let you know that whether if something is negative or whether if something is positive. Okay, so that's the point which you should all be able to be aware of. Okay, so just give me 2 minutes. I'll be back. Meanwhile, try to practice these prompts. Okay, and then I will assist you accordingly. Okay, just complete it. I'll come back. Okay, hope you all are done. Like just you can take any comments and try to provide it, and you can say detect the sentiment of the user. Okay, in the same way, if I take some positive values, okay, so some positive comments also I can take it, and I'll go to the 5-star where 76% has said. We take this up, okay, and I'm gonna add it in the copilot right now. Okay, let me put it here. Just let's say detect the sentiment. That's it. Don't need anything else. Okay. Detect the sentiment of the user and then say enter. Let's see what the copilot is going to provide us. See, it says very clearly the sentiment is positive here. Yeah, the sentiment in this case is positive because the reason also it's saying you because there are so many aspects like ease of use, excellent battery life, smooth performance, clear sound. Okay, however, you are also acknowledging the high price, which might be a concern for some people, not for you, but for some people. Okay, so that is the reason this is considered to be positive. So these are the points which you have to consider where it will also be helpful for you to detect the sentiment without any difficulties or concerns. Okay, so that is another understanding which you all should actually be able to take it into consideration. Okay, now one more interesting thing I'll say you. For an instance, now we'll go to translation. Okay, translation. Let's say I will be put an Hindi word saying that kaisi aap. Okay, I'll say, and then I am gonna say that say hey, translate this to fish. Okay, let's see what it's going to do. It should be actually able to do it. Okay, it says in Hindi when you say kaise ho aap, it translates to how are you in English. Okay, and then okay, the limit is exhausted, so I'm going to again go with a new topic. See, as and when I'm going with the new topic, all the chat is getting towed towards the right hand side here. Okay, so that's one thing we all have to consider in this case. Okay, so now what is the next thing I have? So the next thing is I'll say something. I will say, how are you in Spanish? Okay, let's see what it is going to do. Okay, in Spanish, you can say, how are you in different ways. See, it's giving you all the 3 different ways. These are the 3 different ways in which you can be able to provide it in Spanish. It is also meant for you to translate. It is also meant for you to do all the translation, whatever you, without any difficulties or concerns. That is one point you all have to be aware of. Okay, so that's how you can be able to translate and can be able to move forward. Okay, so this is how you can translate it, and then let me say I will again say in Hindi or kya hal chal. Okay, so here I will say like this, and then I will say in English. Let's see what this is going to do. Okay, it's understanding, it's trying to translate. See, it is saying that in English it translates everything going on. See, what you have to understand here is the beauty of this LLM is it also knows local language. It also knows the local language, the thing, and then it is trying to translate it in the plain. That is the beauty of the copilot. That much amount of data it has been trained with actually. You have so much amount of data that it is being trained with that you are able to go ahead and handle it everything appropriately. So those are the points you all have to consider it. Like whenever you go ahead with like translation and all, right, these are the points which you should be aware of. It is being trained with so much local data, you can be able to go ahead and can handle it appropriately in your own way. Okay, now let's try one more thing. Okay, let's try one more thing. Like we understood translation, we understood summary, like how to get the summary, and then we were able to understand that how you can create pointers, right? Some 10 words, 2 sentences, 3 sentences, we understood it. Then we got to know the sentiment of the user. By providing the reviews, we got the sentiment, whether if it is a positive, negative, and all of those things, we were able to understand it. Now I will create a checklist. Okay, let's say I will say to my LLM, hey, please create a checklist for me. please create a checklist for what? Let us say for the examination. Okay. You create a checklist for the examination as I am going to be the invigilator. Okay. So let us say you are going to be an invigilator in one of the examination. I'm not saying what examination because you have so many examinations there. Okay. So create a checklist for the examination as I'm going to be the invigilator. So let's see what it is going to. It's going to create a checklist, but what exam checklist will understand it. Okay. See, first, what you need to do is for an examination invigilator. Okay. So it is giving you a checklist which you should not forget. As an invigilator, what are your responsibilities? It's going to let you know. So let's say first, verify exam schedule and venue. Then see, collect all the necessary materials like your exam paper, answer sheets, stationery. Then ensure the examination room is set up, desks are arranged, clocks are visible. Then check the student IDs and admission tickets. Ensure the students are seated according to their seating plan. Then you go ahead, announce the exam rules and regulations. Inform the students about the start and time of the exam. Distribute the exam paper and the answer sheets. Keep monitoring, keep moving here and there. Ensure no unauthorized materials are being provided. Address if there are queries from students without giving away any answers to them. Okay, time management, announce them the intervals and all. Okay, like if there are any incident, you should know how to handle it. After the examination, what are your responsibilities? Print all the papers and sheets, ensure all of them are counted, fill all the relevant details, securely transport those materials to the wherever location it has to go, double check all, and then report any issues to the coordinator of the examination. See, I know you all are here faculty members and you all keep doing this, right? Whenever you are going to be part of the examination. So here, this is a checklist. Like if you are going to be an invigilator, you are busy, you don't have enough time and you are a little bit occupied with other things, take this checklist. You have this checklist, go one by one. Okay, I completed. Okay, great, done. Second one, okay, I did it. Third one, I did not do. Okay, let me complete this now. Okay, after that, what I need to do. So like this, you have the checklist available. You don't need to make your brain, make it think, okay, so that it's going to again create a big issue to you, right? Because you're already occupied. Now, instead of that, write a simple prompt, create a checklist, it will create a checklist and then you can move further. Create a checklist, move further and proceed. It will give you all the information and create a checklist here. This is one way. Now I will say, this is examination process. Now I'll say, okay, now this is a common one for everyone. Okay, create a checklist. Okay, I want to go ahead and create a checklist for what I want. Okay, let me say I want to go to the foreign trip. Okay, I want to go to the foreign trip. So create a checklist for the foreign trip from India. Okay, I want to move from India. Okay, so you can just say create a checklist. Yeah. Okay, create a checklist for the foreign trip from India. And what we want is like you can show a checkable click list. Okay, or you can say here checklist. Okay, with good formatting. Because I want little bit good format. Otherwise, it will be difficult. Let's say enter. Now let's see what this is going to do. Okay, see, now it says, hey, if you want to go, see, now it is giving like a checklist. In the previous case, what happened? I just said here, hey, you please go ahead, create a checklist for the examination as I'm going to be the invigilator. What it is doing is it's just creating a small pointers. But I said in the next one, create a checklist for the foreign trip from India. I'm going to a foreign trip from India. So show me a good checkable with a very good formatting. See, it's giving me a good format, like where you can put a tick mark if it is done. So if you are going to other country from India, make sure that your passport is valid for at least 6 months. You need a visa. If it is required, flight tickets, take a printout and a digital copy, travel insurance, hotel reservations if there are any, copies of the documents like passport, visa and ID, local currency, forex card, credit or debit cards if you have any, emergency cash also you need to put. See, so beautifully it is able to go and give you everything. Even your travel agent will not give all these details with whom you are going. Right? So your copilot is planning everything. So it's saying if any vaccinations are needed, take some medications, basic first aid kit, you put it, travel health insurance you try to take, electronics, mobile phone and charger, international SIM, power bank, travel adapter, even for it's saying you. I need clothing, shoes, all the respective your washroom things, and then the travel toiletries, and then sunglasses and hat, and then your travel pillow also, all the miscellaneous, your travel itinerary, emergency contact number, local map and guide, everything. See, so clearly everything is being provided to you. What else do we need? What else do we need when we go to a trip? So you can, whenever you're planning for a trip, no tension. Just get a list like this from the copilot. Just keep on checking on this. If passport you're there, okay. If it's valid for at least 6 months, check it on it. Visa, if it is needed, check it on it. So just put a tick mark and proceed further. That is how you can always create a checklist based on the scenario. Previous scenario, I was an examination invigilator. So I was able to go in that way. In the second case, I'm going to a foreign trip. So I was able to plan it accordingly. That's how you can be able to handle the scenarios and move further. Okay. So this is the clarity which you should all be aware of, where you can create your own checklist and can be able to move further. Okay. And then even in the tabular format also you can create it. Okay. So let me say now I'll show you how to create a tabular format. Okay. I'll say, can you provide me the details of what I can say is, can you provide me the details of, let us say, JEE examination schedule for 2024. Let's see what it is going to do. Okay, so let's say it's creating some important dates, and then I'm gonna please. Okay, oh, this is done. Let me do one thing. Let's go to the existing chat. Right, I will just copy this prompt, whatever I have written here. Can you provide me the details of? Okay, so let's take this. Go to the new topic. Say, okay, so I've written this right for 2024, and I can say, okay, here only present me the details in tabular format. Okay, that means it has to create a table and give me. Okay, let's see what it is going to do. It's creating a table. See, okay, event session 1, session 2. It's giving every detail of me. If you observe here, it is giving me every detail of it in the form of a table. When is the event? When is the date of it? Okay. So now you can create any table on your own. Please go ahead. I'll give you 2 minutes of time. Write any prompt in your copilot and create a table and let me know in the chat what is that you were able to create it. You can paste your prompt in the chat. Create some table on your own and do let me know. Okay, so hope we all are done. Right? So I see in the chat, many of you were able to provide it. Okay, I was able to know what all items I need to buy from the market. Awesome. That is very, very nice. So that's a okay. That's a good thing. And market analysis, awesome. That's great. Okay, predictive analysis, trend identification, awesome. Very nice. Okay, most of you were able to do really some good things. Okay, great. Okay. So good that many of you were able to create the table. And what else? What else we can be able to do here is like for an example, okay, I will show you that how you can write the Python code also. Okay, so I'll say, can you write the Python code for the front end app for the travel agent? Okay, so let's say, okay, if you see here, okay, see, it's able to go and create me a code. Have you ever imagined that something like this can actually happen over here? Okay, if you see in this scenario, this is able to go ahead and create an application for us. See, now I said, can you write the Python code for the front end application for the travel agent? That means I want to create a travel agent web application. So what you can do here is, in this case, with the travel agent web application, right? You can be able to go ahead and can ensure that the moment you are a travel agent here, right? So you can be able to go ahead and can be able to see, first install the Flask, and then you provide the Python, whatever is relevant is provided here. You can go ahead with this, all of these things, and then you can provide your HTML, and then you can see all the code available here. And at the same time, I can say, can you go ahead and write a Python code? Okay. Can you write a Python code for a palindrome, let's say, which can be easily understood? Okay, let's say. Let us see what this is going to do. See here, it started creating a Python code for us. If you see here, it started creating a Python code where you see all the relevant points are being considered here. If you see in this case, all the relevant points are considered, like for the Python code. Okay, so this is something which we should all be able to go ahead and consider. Okay, so these are all are the points. Okay, so these are all the important points which we should be able to consider. Okay, So this is something which we should be able to consider here. So these are the points which we should be able to consider. Okay. So this is how you can go ahead. See, I mean, previously you used to think, you need to understand, you have to proceed further. Like right now, the code is getting generated using the copilot itself. That is one of the best things which we should all be able to consider here. Okay. So this is one of the important point which we should all be able to go ahead. Okay. So this is the important point. Okay. You can always be able to go ahead and can be able to copy and can be able to proceed further. Okay. So this is something which we should be able to consider here. Okay, so that's how you can always be able to go ahead and can be able to create it. I mean, whatever the relevant information you want. So what else we can, okay, even in the CSV format. Okay, so let's say, can you create a table with, okay, with a list of check. Can you create a table with a list of checklist with shopping? Okay. Sure. Okay, if you see here, right, see, so nicely it has created in the form of the CSV. Okay, category, item, quantity, notes. Okay, so groceries. What are the items? What is the quantity? What's the notes? Okay, see, so nicely everything has been organized in this case. You observe here very clearly, vegetables, household items, personal care, snacks, like this. You can always be able to go ahead and can have the groceries and can be able to take it further. Okay. So this is something which we should all be able to go ahead and consider it. So these are the points which we all have to be able to think about. Okay. So this is something which we should consider in the tabular format. Okay. Hope that this is also clear to all of you. So like this, you can create a lot of different things. So what we understood, if you see here, right, we are understanding how to generate the content, how you can use this as an assistant. This is like your assistant, right? Where it is able to go ahead and give you the relevant content. Whatever you're asking, everything it's giving. It's asking you a checklist, it's giving you. If you're asking to create a table, it is creating it. If you're asking the review, it is saying the sentiment. If you're asking to translate, it's able to go and translate it. If you're asking in 10 words, it is able to go ahead and. Okay. So this is what you all have to understand. So this is something which we should all be able to consider and take it further. This is what we have seen right now practically. Okay. So these are the important points which we all should be able to consider. Okay. So this is something which we should all be able to be aware of. Okay. So this is what we have done. So is everyone clear? So we understood today a lot of different things like right? So we understood how to create a table, okay, and then sentences and pointers, right? Apart from sentences and pointers, then we were able to understand how to write an essay, okay, and then understood like how to summarize it, okay, how we can summarize the content. That is another thing which we understood it. And then we understood about the sentiment of the users, right, about the review and all. And then we understood the translation, okay, how we can be able to translate it. And then we can also be able to create a checklist, right, where you can create a checklist and can identify it. And then we have seen how to create a CSV pattern. And then we have seen, okay, we can also be able to see the Python code and all of those things. Okay. That's something which we should be able to consider. And what else we were able to see? Yeah, I think these are the things which we were able to see practically. Now you may ask me, only Python code can I create it? No, you can create anything. Okay. Any code. I just explained Python, but you can take anything. So we were able to see all of these things right now. Practically, we have seen it. Okay, table, how to create a table, what are the different sentences and pointers we can create, how to create an essay, how to summarize it, sentiment, okay, detect the sentiment of the statement, whatever you are providing of the review, translation, we can translate it and we can see the output, checklist we can see, right, where we have seen the exam invigilator and then the foreign prep, CSV, right now we have seen the CSV, right, for the shopping. And then Python code we created for palindrome, and then we were able to see for the let us say for you want to create a travel, right? You can create a travel and you can be able to see over here. Okay. So these are the points which we should be able to consider overall here. Okay. So this is what we have seen practically today, and just want to highlight it. And one more thing I'll say you is create a Java code for Fibonacci. Okay, let me say create a Java code for the Fibonacci numbers. So I said you right, not only it's limited to Python, it's been taught with a lot of different programming languages. See here. Okay, it's able to go and create a Java programming language, and it is giving you the relevant response so that you all can understand it in a better way. And it is giving you the explanation for the same. Okay, it's giving you the explanation also for the same, saying that, hey, this is what I'm going to give you as an output. And here is the response for it. Okay. So these are all the points which we should be aware of. Okay. Okay. Hope you all are clear with today. So tomorrow's agenda, okay, tomorrow we are going to talk about the prompt engineering entirely. So today, whatever we have written, right, the questions, these are to make you understand like how you can be able to generate different types of contents, right? Different types of content is what we can generate, and we can see the responses. That is what we understand, how to generate content, how to summarize it, what are the different options which we can do, CSV, table, sentiment, translation, all these things we got to know that these are the different types of outputs which you can derive from the copilot. But tomorrow, what we will learn is what is prompt engineering and how to write a prompt, like what are different ways in which you can get a much better output. That is what will be our entire agenda for tomorrow. It is exclusively prompt engineering. Today, we were able to understand the copilot in a very practical way to see the outputs of the program. Okay, we have seen different outputs of the program. We have seen practically what are all the different things which you can do on your daily life activities by using the copilot. Okay, we understood what is LLM in a very detailed way today. Okay, and then on top of that, we also got to know that how generative AI can be helpful for us to create some use cases for LLMs. And then we understood the difference between ChatGPT, Copilot, and then third, the Google Gemini. So these are all are the concepts we learned. And I would request all of you to please practice as much as you can. Okay, please keep practicing with the Copilot with whatever scenarios you want. I've explained you multiple scenarios today. So you can have so many other scenarios with you and you can be able to utilize it. So tomorrow what we will do is, we will learn how the prompting technique works. Then after learning the technique theoretically, we'll implement practically in the Copilot. Now you know how to use Copilot. So you will be familiar with it. We will take a prompt directly, we will utilize it, and we will start leveraging it directly. So tomorrow and day after tomorrow, it will all be prompting. And finally, I will end it with what are the ethical considerations you have to consider for the AI. Okay. So these are the topics which are still pending. And yeah, with this, I want to wrap up for today's session. And I want to utilize some time if there are any questions from anyone specifically to ask me so that we can take up those questions. And tomorrow we will start directly with the prompt engineering itself. So yeah, now it's time for any questions from anyone. Can I ask Copilot to teach me how to use it? Yeah, yes, you can. Pratibha, Dr. Pratibha, you can definitely do that. So let's say for an instance, I'll do one thing. My limit is exhausted, okay? So you can say, I'm new to front end and could you please explain me the basics of it? Let's submit it. Here, it will go one by one. Okay, it's going to be one by one and it will explain to you what are all the different things you have to say. Okay, see, it's giving you some suggestions, some different places where you can go through and can explore. Okay, if you want to learn anything also, it will help you with it. Can plagiarism be checked with Copilot? Yes, definitely. You can use Zero GPT for that, Dr. Sonali. There is a tool called as the Zero GPT, not the Copilot. Okay, Zero GPT will help you to check that. Copilot doesn't have that capability, at least in the free trial. Okay.
Sir, hope you are done.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm done for today. I'm just checking the questions from the list. People are asking some couple of questions. I'm trying to answer. For content wise, we are done actually.
Oh, okay, done.
Yeah. I'll hand it over to you in next 2 to 3 minutes, and you can then take it over. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Sure. No. Okay. Just a minute. I'm checking all the questions here. How much ever I can, I'll be able to answer them. Yeah, you can also ask good PhD thesis topic also for AI/ML, which is innovative and all. You can ask them to the Copilot. It will give you the relevant response, Krishnamurthy. So yeah, you can also produce the rubrics for the subjects. Okay, you can set up a holistic rubric. So let's say create a holistic rubric. Okay, create a holistic rubric for let me say assignments. Let's see what it is going to do. See here, okay? It's able to go ahead and create for you. Shruti. Okay, this is what we all have to understand it, Shruti. So it is able to go ahead and create a holistic rubric for any type, assignments or subjects, whatever you want, you can be able to do that. It's able to go ahead. Okay. How to know how much data Copilot have trained it? Is there any percentage? No, that will be there from the Microsoft Copilot. So Microsoft Copilot claims that it has been trained with almost some 3 billion parameters of the data, Priyanka. but you will get that information directly from the respective Microsoft site. Okay. Then can it give the cleansing process also to removing outlets? Yes, it can be able to do, Professor Vivekananda. Yeah. Sprinkle in the email to concise one. Yes, you can do. Take a big mail, take that mail and say, then we'll say, please, you can say, please make it precise and concise. Okay. Say something like this, please make it precise and concise. It can be able to go ahead and like break it, your big mail into a smaller one, which is very meaningful moment. Okay. Yeah, you can also do comparative analysis also with the GenAI, Dr. Pratibha. Yeah, we will see that tomorrow, Dr. Ramesh. Okay. I will deal for the research paper writing. We will have it handy tomorrow again. Okay. No, no, no. If it is until and unless if it is RTI and if it is kept open and if copilot is being trained with that Dr. Chandrasekhar, then you will see that response. Until if it is not trained, you will not be able to see it. Okay. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, diagram we will take it tomorrow. Okay. So tomorrow we will see images, how to create images, how to write the research. Okay. All of those things we will see tomorrow. Cool. Okay then. Perfect. So for all the research type of ideas and then drawing the images or creating the images will be taken up tomorrow. Okay. So thank you once again, everyone, for all your wonderful feedback and as well as to know more about it. Thank you so much. Now I'm handing it over to XLR team. So team, you can be able to take it up and move further. I'm done with our today's session. So thank you once again, everyone, to the hosting team and as well as to the participants. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. So, dear faculty, I'm sharing the attendance link. If you missed out your attendance, please mark your attendance. And any more questions, you can ask me here in the chat box. Please share day to attendance. Sorry, Shabina, it's not possible because I missed out on first day attendance. Yeah, that's okay. We need 60% attendance for the certificate. We can't share yesterday's and day before yesterday attendance link. So make sure from today onwards you are marking at your attendance. Okay. Pratibha, madam, I didn't get your question. Like, if I want to have such FDP in my institute, so if you have any, queries, you just drop an email to edl@xlr.com. My team will connect with you. Okay. I'm sending that email ID to everyone. So any queries, any, collaborations you can do. Can you please set Google Form to only one response? Okay, Ritika. We'll do that. Day one video is available if missed last part. Yeah, we have recording sessions. We have LMS portal. Okay. So there I will get all the things. You are not registered for this, just I'm providing the registration link. Go through it. Okay, register there. So you will receive a mail. So through that mail, you have to register. Yeah. If you don't have any questions, you can leave. No problem. And thank you so much for joining the session, and we'll meet on tomorrow. Yeah.